because it's like so much fabric. Hi guys, and welcome to this new fun video. I'm finally making time to do my everything I crocheted / sewn / crafted video in the first half of 2025, but it's already August, so it's a little bit longer than a half a year, but I feel like it's still fine. I finally have time to make this video and upload it next week. A little bit of background information. I have been crocheting for I think about almost 3 years now. I think like 2.5 years. I'm not sure though. But I have been basically crocheting non-stop, and in about the first year of crocheting I started to also design my own clothing. So for example, this was the first piece I designed myself and made to my size, and ever since I have been mostly designing my own clothes, and every now and then I also do someone else their pattern, but a little bit less lately. In this video I will be showing you everything I have crocheted in 2025 so far, and most of them are items I designed myself. And to inform you guys a little bit, I do have a Ko-Fi membership where I share a crochet pattern / vague instructions on how I designed and crocheted something myself to my measurements. And I share it every month on my Ko-Fi membership, and if you sign up you get access to all the patterns I have already uploaded. But I want to give a disclaimer that these patterns aren't tested. Maybe one day I will get a few tested, but I just kind of like write out instructions and then drop them on my Ko-Fi membership, so maybe not very appropriate for people that aren't used to crocheting, but I just wanted to put it out there that if you are interested in doing one of these items that I'm showing it to you, they are available on my Ko-Fi membership, and you get access to all of the ones I have already published. So I feel like that's a very good deal. Yeah, I kind of have like a whimsical style. I feel like I look a little bit like goth-ish today, which is not my main style, but you'll see some of my clothing items. So now I will get all of my clothing items that I want to talk about in this video, which is my most dreaded part because I will have to look around for all of the items I have crocheted. As always, I will just be showing you pictures of like when I have worn the item, because it is way too hot right now, and also I don't really have the time to like fit each individual item. I also feel like I haven't crocheted as much this year as I used to do, just because I also started like sewing, and I have so many other crafts that I do also for this YouTube channel, but I still have a lot to show you guys, so let's get into it. Okay, I have realized that I have not, I have a few items that are not available to me right now, but I will show pictures and videos on screen, so I hope you still enjoy. I'm gonna look at my phone because I have a list of all the items I made this year. I'm happy this frame is cropped because, to be honest, my studio space is a little bit of a mess right now. But let's start with the first project I did. It was kind of finishing off a bigger project that I did at the end of 2024, so I made this whole outfit based on Hungry Caterpillar, although I feel like the items don't really match together that well. But I made this skirt and this sweater at the end of 2024, and then at the start of 2025 I made the accessories. So I made a scrunchie that kind of filled a little bit. I made leg warmers that I haven't worn. What else have I made? I made a little bracelet, but that's not related to crochet. I also made apple earrings, which are super cute, but I'll show a picture because I don't have them with me right now. So those were all kinds of accessories that I started with in the beginning of 2025. And then the next project I did was my butterfly filet crochet cardigan and scarf, so I'm gonna show it to you. This is the cardigan, and for my membership, since this was so made to measure, this cardigan actually was based on another cardigan that I had, and I decided to make a PDF that kind of describes how you can copy your cardigan that you already have in crochet, and then I also did instructions on how you can do filet crochet. So as you can see, or I hope you can see it, there are little butterflies on it. Maybe it's not super obvious because it's 2 layers on top of each other, but I used 2 types of yarn to create this filet crochet effect. So the butterflies are a fuzzy yarn, and then the mesh stitches are just a cotton yarn, and I really enjoy this cardigan. I wear it quite often. I had to make this tie in the back though because it was falling off of my shoulders quite often, which I feel like happens a lot with crocheted cardigans, which frustrates me a little bit, but it's fine. And then I also made a matching scarf. I wear this mainly on my head to kind of finish off the outfit. The next project I did was a tapestry, a Valentine's Day tapestry. I'm actually looking at it right now because it's on my shelf in my studio space, but I'm gonna show a picture. It's kind of like Sonny's Angels inspired, or Sonny Angels. I always forget how to say it, but I made this graph and I used Sonny Angels as inspiration, and then also Valentine's Day, and I honestly think this looks so cute. I actually want to make more tapestries like this, but I just don't end up finding the time anymore. Okay, the next project I did actually was following a pattern, because sometimes just following a pattern is so much more relaxing, and I had this beautiful wool yarn that I bought, which was a little bit more expensive, but as you can see, the colors are so great, and I would love to work more with beautiful yarn like this. And this is the top, how it turned out, and I love this so much. I feel like I should wear it again when it's, well, it's already quite hot, so maybe I can wear it soon again. Also at the inside here at the top above like your cleavage, I did insert an elastic, because if I bowed down at my job, for example, you could kind of like see into my cleavage, and I'm not really comfortable with that at my job, so I did add an elastic, and now it fits perfectly. I would say quite an easy pattern, but I don't know because I have been crocheting for so long already. I also upcycled a dress that I think shrunk in my dryer or washing machine, or I don't know, but I did add a strip of crocheted, like I made a graph with sparkles, and then I crocheted that strip, and then I sewed it in the seams of the dress, and now it fits perfectly. But I can't show it right now because it needs to be washed, so it's downstairs waiting to be hand washed. So next it was time for a big project again, which means I wanted to make a full outfit again, design it from scrap, and then crochet it. And these type of projects usually take me like almost 100 hours. So I'm gonna show you all the different items I crocheted for that outfit. I started off making this corset, and I actually haven't worn it as much, and I feel like I should start styling this more often, but I feel like I'm not wearing it as often because it's quite thick fabric and it looks maybe a little bit costumey, which I'm not very much against, but still, I just haven't found an outfit yet that I feel like matches very well with this corset, although I really love it, and it has this tie in the back and I really love it. Next I made this top, which I actually wear quite often because it's a little bit more basic. So it's like an off-the-shoulder top with frilly sleeves, and like it's so perfect, but I did make a little bit of a mistake. I feel like I made the chest part a little bit too high, and then I also added an elastic on the inside, so it does look a little bit scrunchy. If I kind of like usually cover it up with wearing a skirt that comes right under my boobs so that you can't see like how clunky and bunched up everything is underneath my boobs. But I do really like this top, and it has a little bit of staining on the back, but I don't really think you can see it as well, but it's because I hand washed it with this top, and I feel like some of the dye got on the back of this top, but I feel like it's not too obvious. I don't know if you can see like how bunched up it is underneath my boobs, but I feel like you can probably tell, right? And then the last item I made, you can already tell I also added an elastic because it was a little bit too loose to my liking, is this beautiful skirt. I wanted to make something like a little bit more casual. I don't want to say basic because I don't feel like the skirt is very basic, but it also has a slit here, and I have worn it a few times, but it's a little bit hot, but it's like very long and beautiful, and I also don't really know if it's my style 100% because I do like more, what's it called, like A-line skirts, but very long. I don't know how to describe it, and this is quite a straight skirt, which I think is beautiful as well, especially because it's very long, and that's like my main thing I like about skirts, but I don't know if it's like 100% my style, but it's still very cute. Then my next project I did actually was an art swap for this tattoo here, and I obviously don't have that anymore, but I made a sweater vest based on a design that I had already made a few times, which also was a design I created myself. And yeah, I'm just gonna show you a picture. I still don't have a picture of the tattoo artist wearing it because it just has been so hot, but I'm expecting during autumn that they will send me a picture hopefully so that I can also like post about it and stuff. But I did do an art swap for a tattoo, and it was honestly the best thing I've ever done, I think. Okay, the next item I'm gonna show you also is one of my favorite designs I've ever made, but it looks very simplistic, but it actually was very hard to make. So it actually was based on an Urban Outfitters lingerie top that I saw. It's still very much different, but it inspired me, and then I made this top, and at the back you can tie it. And it's honestly so beautiful. I love to wear it as like an over layer, but you can also wear it as a top as it is, obviously. But this project totally destroyed my hands. This was the first time this year that I had struggles with my hands, like little shocky feeling in my fingers and hands. So after this project I needed to take it a little bit slower, but I just love this top so much, and I wear it a lot with blue themed outfits. Okay, then my next project took me so long. I think it took me more than 60 hours in total, which I wasn't expecting. I was expecting this to be a very quick project. Also, this is with someone else, their pattern. Well, I used two patterns, one for the bag, this messenger bag, and then also one for the Miffy keychain. I followed this free tutorial. I'm gonna link all the patterns and tutorials and stuff that I can find that I used for my projects. I honestly really love this bag. It has like buckles and stuff. The only thing I dislike is that the straps are completely like curled on itself, and I also added some mesh canvas inside the bag to make it, can you hear it? To make it a little bit more sturdier, but like the top of the bag is still kind of flimsy. But I love this bag so much, and I feel like I should wear it more outside, but I just haven't been outside of the house too much lately, like to do fun events or stuff. Then my next project isn't crochet. Actually, I don't know why it's in my list of crochet, but it's this moss rug that you can see in the back. I'm gonna show a decent picture, but I did a whole video on this as well for my studio decoration video, and this came with a kit by Craft Club, so it's more like weaving and latch hooking. But I still wanted to mention it because I feel like it's super cute. But obviously I didn't come up with this either. It was just a kit that I ordered. And then I also made a sewing machine cover for my sewing machine, obviously. Very quick crochet freehand project, but I do think it looks super cute. Next I made this labubu here, you can see in the back. I tried to make two because I wanted to make a second one to do a giveaway, but my second one turned out looking so bad. So I decided to cancel my giveaway. There was only one person that entered anyways. So I did send them like a postcard and some stickers as a thank you. But yeah, this is my labubu. I actually love crocheting with this like fur type of yarn. I was expecting it to be horrible, but I actually loved it because you could still feel the stitches. And if you made a mistake, it wasn't super obvious. So I actually really enjoyed crocheting with this fluffy yarn. And then my next project, I feel like was kind of influenced by my labubu. And I obviously also by Lazy Oaf because they had a Monchichi collection, and I really loved this bag that they were selling, but it was sold out when I saw it. And obviously also if I see something and I think I can make it myself, then the first choice for me will be to make it myself. So I made this handbag, and it kind of looks more like a hedgehog than Monchichi, but I do still think it looks super cute. And I could also use purple, which is obviously one of my favorite colors also with clothing. So This is my bag. I love it so much, and I have a pattern for this as well on my membership, or like instructions, I guess. Okay, next is a dress that I also made last year, and I wanted to remake it and kind of like write instructions for my Ko-Fi membership. So this is the dress, and I love it so much. The only thing is it's a little bit too tight on me, but I'm like kind of trying to lose a little bit of weight over time. I'm not like dieting super extremely, but you know, maybe during autumn I can fit in this dress. Also, I have made it with mohair yarn and it's extremely hot, but I used wool because I thought it was more stretchy and I wanted a dress that was extremely stretchy. But now I'm like, I want to remake this with cotton yarn and see if maybe it's as stretchy, you know. I just always thought that wool was more stretchy, and to be honest, I don't really know at this point, but it is way too hot for summer. Maybe I will be able to wear it during autumn with like a black top underneath and some socks underneath. I don't know, but it is very cute. It's probably my favorite design I have ever made. But again, I don't really know if it's like 100% my style. I feel it's like it's a little bit, I don't want to say too modern looking because it doesn't look too modern, but it is still very like the opposite of minimalistic. Maximalistic, yeah. But I feel like I just prefer like dresses that aren't super tight on me. I want frilly skirts and stuff like that and frilly dresses, but this still is one of my favorite designs. I just feel like I could make a dress again that's more frilly and more like my whimsical style, I guess. And then the last thing I crocheted that I want to show you is again one of my favorite things I ever designed and crocheted. And I also just published a video about this on my YouTube channel. Again, all of the stuff I've showed you, I have videos about because I vlog literally everything that I do. So this is probably again one of my favorite things I've ever made. It has a heart cutout and I feel like it sits so flattering on me. I don't really know what to tell about it besides that it's one of my favorite things I've ever made. So definitely check out the vlog after this video if you're interested. So that were all my crocheted items, but I still want to show you and talk about some other projects as well, like things I've sewn, because this has been the first year I have been following sewing classes. So I want to talk a little bit about that and the things I have made. I do sew very, like not a lot compared to how much I crochet, but the first project I made in my sewing classes was this tote bag, and I did make it with custom fabric that I drew myself and then got printed. I did sell this to a friend who really wanted it. So yeah, I don't have this tote bag anymore. And then my next project was a set of pajamas, and I can't show it right now because it's in the, like it needs to be washed. But again with custom fabric that I designed myself, and it was quite complicated, like especially the blouse with like, it was a lot. It was quite complicated for me. The next thing I made in sewing classes is this bag. It is kind of missing buttons. It has buttonholes, but I have just never been able to sew on the buttons, and this is the bag. It was kind of like a practice thingy. It has a zipper to kind of practice everything we learned during the first year of sewing classes. So yeah, just a very simple bag and like a pouch, and I use this for my crochet stuff, like my hooks and stuff. Then the last thing I made in sewing classes is this skirt. Again, I can't show it to you because it's downstairs and I was literally too lazy to go get it. So yeah, beautiful tiered skirt. It took me forever though. I think it took me about 15 hours, especially just because it has so many ruffled pieces. Yeah, it was, I don't know if I can do any more basting stitches after this. Well, I actually did, because at home I made an outfit and this is the top, so I still had to do a lot of basting stitches to get all the frilly details. But this was an outfit that I made for a video where I asked my boyfriend to kind of like style an outfit for me that I had to sew myself. So this is the top, and then this is the pair of shorts. I actually love these shorts. They look like a skirt, and again, it's not like my my preferred style. I also don't wear that much red usually, but it has pockets, and this only took me 2.5 hours to sew, and it's very stretchy and it's very nice for during summer. It's honestly not too hot either because it is quite flowy. Another thing that I forgot to mention, but I don't really know if I made it this year. I think I made it last year, but I have it here anyways. I made this skirt, and I didn't use a pattern or anything. I used another skirt to kind of trace it, and then I made all this patchwork and stuff. Honestly, or horrible execution. I'm kind of like right now seeing there's a hole in here as well that I never noticed. I think I wore this dress maybe once, but it's like super stiff because the lining is a cotton as well, and it's super stiff, and I wanted it to be way more flowy. Yeah, I made it as well. Took me a very long time, but I'm not very happy with it. And then I decided maybe I should just stick with actual sewing patterns, because I feel like I'm so much better at crocheting by just freehanding something or making something on my own. But with sewing, you have to be so perfectionistic in a kind of an other way than crocheting. I feel like with crocheting, you just need to be able to count. But with sewing, you need to like measure, get everything right, and like do so much preparation. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I'm just not as good as freehanding sewing patterns. Okay, and lastly, I want to finish off this video with a few crafts that I made very quickly. So first of all, I want to show you my Pokemon cards that I made for my boyfriend and I our 8th anniversary. So I'm gonna show it here. To be honest, a lot of it like fell apart because the sticky tabs I used weren't very strong. So I honestly need to like upgrade the artwork again, but it's downstairs. But I did draw this for our 8th anniversary, and I think it's so cute, and it's one of the things I'm very proud of that I made this year, craft related. I also made a few necklaces that I want to quickly show to you. I'm actually planning to make more necklaces in an upcoming video, so subscribe if you're interested in that. But yeah, every now and then I like to do polymer clay, but just not as much because I just don't have any more time left to do so. And I also really hate being fiddly with the UV resin. I absolutely hate applying UV resin, but then the result is so nice. And also it needs to cure so long. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I usually just lay it outside, but then I don't know, dirt gets into it because of the wind and stuff. I don't know. I really enjoy the result of polymer clay, but I kind of low-key dislike doing it. Okay, hi guys, I just saw that I forgot about my Pokemon tattoos, my ice-themed Pokemon tattoos I designed that I also really liked, and I made a full video about, so I wanted to show those as well. But I did so many other stuff as well, like I recently did a rug tufting workshop. Like I do so many different stuff. And not to like brag or anything, but I'm just so proud of many different things that I've made this year so far. It's just sometimes very overwhelming because I have so many ideas for projects and new hobbies I want to try out, and then I don't really have the time to do them because I already spend so much time like crocheting and working for my membership every month. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you my Pokemon tattoos as well. This was made on like temporary tattoos as well. I do a lot of projects that people are like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that, like those temporary tattoos. You can print them at home. And for example, also my custom fabrics I make, a lot of people are like, oh my god, I have never thought about ordering custom fabrics. So yeah, just to let you know that you can basically do anything you want to do. And then lastly, I want to mention that I do draw each month for my Ko-Fi rewards as well, because I have physical rewards, which include postcards, stickers, and sticker sheets. So I'm gonna quickly show you some examples of my favorite rewards that I have done. And I feel like that's kind of a good overview of what I have done this year. I have also done a freelance project for a museum, but I feel like that's a little bit less interesting to show right now. But that kind of gives you an idea of what I like to do also for my YouTube channel. So if some of these things look nice to you, definitely subscribe, because I upload every single week with crochet videos, most of the time vlogs, craft videos, I draw, I sew, I kind of do everything, and I would love you guys to join the community, I guess, because I just love having you guys around, and you guys mean so much to me. I really appreciate you guys, your support. And I guess that was it for the video. Let me know in the comments which project was your favorite, and then I'll see you in next week's video. Have a good day or night. Bye bye!